Hi, I'm David. These are my DataOps predictions for 2025. Number one, the fog is gonna clear, but slowly. Okay, so fog clear, what needs to be cleared? So a couple of weeks ago, I published my first industrial data platform capability map or data ops capability map, whatever you want to call it. So why did I do that? Because I found myself in a lot of meetings, either with end customers or with technology providers, and the things we were discussing were very gray, were very foggy, right? The end user might have just that general questions like I want to build something, I want to do something in the cloud, I want to connect my devices, I want to see a trend, I want to do AI. Um, or the end user was very much influenced by information they found on the internet, from I would say just a specific point of view published by a company or in a sponsored article or whatever. Or on the other hand, you have the technology providers who typically say, we can do it all. Buy our solution and you're all set, which in many cases is not true. So I developed this capability map to have really to have a stake in the ground, to have just a way to start a discussion, either from an end user perspective as well as from a technology provider perspective. So why do I say that the fog is going to clear, but slowly? What I would see is that in 2025, definitely we will go from a dark gray kind of zone to more lighter gray or gray environment. So I still believe that selecting a data ops solution it will remain challenging, and it will remain difficult for end users to really understand what they need and with what vendors or with what technologies they want to start. But I do see that I would say we will see more and more clarity in this domain, which will make it easier for the end user. Two, I really see a lot of maturing scale ups taking center stage. Companies who are maybe in 2024, they some are still in startup phase, some are really growing very fast, some are already in a scale up phase. And I really see them taking center stage in 2025 because they already have a big enough user base. They still have the agility to rapidly, I would say, change, adapt themselves. And I really do see them taking, as I said, center stage in 2025. On the other hand, for let's say, the more traditional OT vendors, I do think tough times are ahead for several reasons. One, they typically have an older technology stack. For many of them, it's difficult to keep up with the pace of these scale ups. It's also different to keep pace with, I would say, the speed the IT world is moving. They have this, as I said, they are built on typically a more older technology. They are missing agility to change rapidly. And in many cases, there is also a challenge with their pricing models. So for the traditional OT vendors, I believe 2025 will really be a pivotal year. And they need to come up with a strategy on how they will, I would say, enforce or reinforce their position in the industrial data ops landscape. If we take another step and we look to the hyperscalers, the cloud hyperscalers around us, I'm sure they will try to keep on expanding their reach, but we need to be really careful here because, yes, there is a big difference between having compute resources, having the ability to store sensor data, and really understanding what it takes to work with that data on the shop floor, what it takes to contextualize data, what sensor data quality means, how these data, I would say, how that data is then actually being used by operators and by technicians in their day-to-day job. It's not just all about having BI reports and training AI models. And then finally, for this prediction, for this first DataOps prediction, I really see data engineering and data science entering the OT world. We've already seen certain companies starting to do that. Some are already doing this for a couple of years, but in general, I really see data scientists entering the the OT realm as well. And that's not really because of the AI hype anymore. We'll talk about AI in one of our next predictions, but it's really because I do see a lot of companies are understanding that data can really help them becoming more competitive, especially in the current economic situation, or the current economic conditions we're in. But caution, or a small word of advice here: make sure that once these, I would say, these data profiles enter the OT space, that we really focus on collaboration and not on I know it better, our tools are better, and so that you don't come into some kind of a divergence situation where you have somebody who is able to work with data and now tries to apply these principles on the manufacturing domain without really grasping the specific things which are happening on the shop floor again, in the plants, in our infrastructure. So with that, how are we at the IT/OT Insider are going to help in 2025? So first of all, we will keep on extending our capability map. We will be publishing new releases, also because the current releases, there are still some things to further define. We knew that. We will also start building a database with vendors who are active in this domain. And it's quite of a challenge, because the IT/OT Insider, it's still a hobby project. There is no professional organization behind this. So we need to, I would say, balance here the fact that we do see the need to start listing these vendors. We might also want to start doing interviews with them so that the vendor is able to position themselves and map themselves towards our capability map. So that's something which is also in the planning for 2025. And finally, we are also now starting to create training around this topic. We've done some first tryouts, so thank you for the companies who reached out to us. There are still some tryouts also on the planning for early 2025, and I expect really to be launching a formal training program somewhere mid 2025. But if you would be interested already in this tryout, let us know. So yeah, that's it. Prediction number one. So maybe just to summarize, the DataOps fog is gonna clear, but slowly, and definitely not entirely in 2025. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. There is an article as well, and I assume that next week or in 2 weeks we will be back with our second prediction.